What if the vow that binds two souls, etched not in gold but in the raw, searing permanence of scars, mirrored our own desperate grasps at eternity amid the chaos of fleeting lives? Feel the sting of salt-laced wind whipping across a jagged cliffside, the metallic tang of blood mingling with the earth's damp musk, the distant roar of waves crashing like shattered promises, and shadows coiling like serpents in the dim twilight, evoking those historical pacts sealed in blood, from Viking oaths under stormy skies to the defiant stands at Thermopylae, where warriors carved legacies into flesh. This is the visceral throb of episode 7 of My Status as an assassin obviously exceeds the heroes, released on November 17, 2025, a turning point in the series arc where Akira's shadowed path veers from solitary vengeance into entangled fates, challenging the Ice Guy's summoned heroes with intimate reckonings. I personally was struck by its audacious fusion of brutal action and tender fragility, a whisper of commitment that dangles unresolved tensions like the sword of Damocles, much like the suspense in Romeo and Juliet's balcony scene, where love defies doom. You're perched on that precipice now, aren't you? The wind howling in your ears, the scar's phantom ache on your skin. Doesn't it awaken a fierce curiosity, urging you to leap into the episode and claim the truths that bind or break, emerging from the labyrinthine betrayals and cursed echoes of prior episodes, where Akira's suspicions of royal deceit forced him into exile, forging uneasy alliances amid demonic whispers. This chapter catapults him into a desperate cliffside confrontation, resurgence of shadowed powers, and poignant reunions that test loyalties. Envision the sheer drop of a coastal abyss, reminiscent of the perilous ledges in The Lord of the Rings where fellowship fractures under weighty burdens, or the historical sieges of Masada where survivors clung to defiance. Here, Akira grapples with overwhelming foes, awakens latent abilities, and navigates emotional crossroads with Emilia, while classmates re-emerge to offer paths diverged. The narrative transitions from isolated skirmishes to intertwined destinies, weaving revelations that suspend the quest in precarious balance, like the taut silence before the Alamo's final charge. But what enigmatic force speaks through the darkness? You're teetering on the edge already, the sea's spray misting your face, the pull of hidden vows tightening. Isn't that suspense coiling deeper, compelling you to watch and unravel the bonds yourself? Episode 7 accelerates the central narrative by thrusting Akira into a high-stakes duel against a formidable adversary, unveiling the autonomous depths of his shadow magic as a deus ex machina lifeline, while pivotal reunions with classmates expose fractures in the summoning's grand design, culminating in a cliffhanger that teases broader conspiracies. Revelations abound. The magic's self-healing and vocal agency hint at inherited essences, with twists in combat dynamics shifting from raw power to strategic desperation. Pacing masterfully balances frenetic action with introspective pauses, achieving dramatic harmony akin to a symphony's crescendo and lull, preventing overload while building inexorable momentum. Fans often grapple with cloudy aspects, such as the shadow magic's sudden sentience. Why does it echo Commander Saran's voice? And what are its activation triggers or limitations? Delving into Matsuri Akai's light novel, Volume 2, Chapters 7 to 9, per adaptation mappings from fan wikis like Fandom and discussions on novel updates. This clarifies. The magic embodies a legacy imprint from Saran's sacrifice consciousness, a deliberate lore mechanic for cooldown-bound resurrections, mana-depleting, 24-hour refractory period, absent in the anime's condensed portrayal. Similarly, the withheld summoning secret stem from Akira's trauma-informed caution, foreshadowing Volume 3's schisms. This researched context elevates the episode from contrived rescue to thematic cornerstone, enriching the animated arc with layered Ice Guy subversion. Akira's psychological tapestry deepens profoundly. His wounds, the invisibility of his earthly past now compounded by Ice Guy disposability, driving motivations that evolve from vengeful isolation to vulnerable commitment. His choices surprising in their tenderness yet transformative as he forgoes lethal instincts for protective restraint. Dialogue consistency gleams in his guarded confessions, revealing growth toward relational anchors. Emilia's hidden scars surface. Her Yandra undercurrents, born from prophetic loneliness, manifest in possessive acts that surprise with intensity, her resurrection magic birthing innovative spells consistent with her oracle heritage. Classmates like the hero Dan expose insecurities, their pleas for unity transformative in highlighting Akira's defiant autonomy. I think these arcs feel authentically surprising, etching motivations into visceral bonds that challenge archetypes, leaving you to question, what unseen fractures in your own resolve would such trials mend or magnify? The episode probes the essence of vows amid impermanence. Can power's shadows forge enduring light, or do they eclipse morality's fragile glow? Sacrifice embodies in self-inflicted marks, characters' choices manifesting survival's cost. Akira's mercy spares foes yet risks allies, echoing ethical crucibles like Socrates' hemlock hemlock, weighing personal hope against collective despair. Power's morality interrogates through autonomous magic, questioning if godlike gifts liberate or puppeteer, as in Prometheus' chained benevolence. Hope versus despair clashes in reunions, withholding truths to preserve fragile unity amid systemic lies, resonant with historical concealments like the Manhattan Project's veiled horrors. These themes pulse through struggles. In our transient worlds, do scars bind us to purpose or remind us of inevitable loss? You're sensing that philosophical weight now, tying your own fleeting pacts to theirs. Fresh lore complicates the realm. Shadow magic's imprint mechanics introduce inheritance rules, enriching ability systems while tying to summoning rituals' sacrificial underbelly. Classmates' reemergence expands geopolitical tensions, hinting at demonic Japanese crossovers. From the light novels Volume 2, this layers a multiverse of flawed deities and cyclical betrayals, adding depth without overwhelm, akin to unveiling the Force's midichlorians in Star Wars. The script wields poetic edge. Lines like Akira's vows carry foreshadowing gravity, resonating post-credits like ancient oaths in Beowulf. Sharp and impactful, it subverts cliches with raw sincerity. Amelia's possessive whispers linger, evocative of the intense declarations in Wuthering Heights. You're on that windswept cliff, hearing the tremor in their voices, the wind swallowing half-spoken promises. Doesn't it heighten your intrigue, drawing you to decode the echoes of fate woven in every syllable? Sunrise's art direction captivates with lethal fluidity. Combat flows in balletic shadows, colors bleeding from azure cliffs to crimson scars symbolizing eternal bonds. Lighting casts ethereal glows on resurrections, stillness in emotional beats contrasting chaotic movement. Symbolism shapes impact, beauty as indelible wound, like Rembrandt's chiaroscuro unveiling soul's torment. Angles amplify vulnerability. Sweeping panoramas on cliffs mirror existential drops. Intimate close-ups in vows heighten intimacy. Editing rhythms thrum like a racing pulse. Abrupt cuts in autopilot frenzy, lingering fades and scars, echoing Kurosawa's epic tensions. The OST emerges as a spectral guardian, haunting motifs crescendo in shadow activations, burning into memory with ethereal chorales. Silences during confessions roar louder than gales, akin to Interstellar's void symphonies. Minami Takahashi's Akira quivers with soulful gravel, intensity flaring in vows. Saori Onishi's Amelia infuses possessive tremor with ethereal depth. Supporting VAs deliver chaotic fervor. Their timbres embody fractured essences, pulsing with raw humanity. This episode scarred me with a blend of exhilaration and melancholy, wonder in magic's resurgence, ache in vows' raw permanence, moments like the scars etch sparking that electric thrill of defiant love. The climax? A collision of shadowed legacies and heartfelt pacts, a breaking point where destinies scar into unity, reminiscent of the Titanic's fateful embrace amid sinking hopes. It evokes universal queries. In worlds of borrowed time, do we carve eternity through pain or illusion? You're tasting that salty gale now, feeling the scars' phantom burn. Doesn't it provoke insatiable curiosity, making the episode's echoes your inevitable quest? Pacing rushes romantic beats, complexity in magic's autonomy opaques mechanics, opacity around secrecy frustrates. But reverse this. These deliberate choices thematic to Isekai's chaotic summons, stylistic rushes mirroring life's abrupt bonds. I didn't like the slideshow skirmishes, yet appreciate their emphasis on emotional core. Balanced, the episode's heartfelt highs outweigh technical hazes with compelling intimacy. Episode 7 excels in thematic depth and visceral romance, though pacing blurs subtleties. It succeeds artistically by subverting power tropes, narratively by forging indelible arcs. Yet, as shadows recede into dawn's haze,